Hi everyone, so today I'll be doing the IGCSE Maths paper code 0580 for summer 20 question paper 43, and I'll get straight into it. For question 1A, this question was actually relatively simple. It was just candidates tended to lose marks with uh, small mistakes in part B and D and so on. So to start off, part 1A. Today there were 54 tents and 18 caravans on site. Calculate the fees charged today. So the cost of one tent is 15. So the total number of tents cost would be 54 into 15. And because we're calculating the fees charged today, it will be for the tents and the caravans. So there are 18 caravans. The cost of 18 caravans will be 18 into the cost of one, which is 25. So you sum that and you get the total cost on the calculator. That is 25. $1260. Okay. Then part B, in September the total income of the campsite was this. This was a decrease of 4.5% on total income in August. Let's calculate the total income in August. So over here we have a percentage change, and normally the formula you have to use is new amount minus the old amount upon old into 100 to give you your percentage value. Okay, so in this case over here, the September value is our new value and the August value is our old value. So when I substitute all of our information into the formula, it's 37054 minus x, which is for the old value, upon x into 100 is equal to negative 4.5. The reason why I'm doing negative 4.5 is because the percentage is decreasing. If there was an increase, then it would remain as a positive, so it would just be 4.5. And this is how candidates lost mark. But anyway, now we have to solve for x. So with basic algebra, 37054 minus x is equal to negative 0.045 x. So basically what I did first was I divided 4.5, negative 4.5 by 100, which gave me negative 0.045, and then I took x to the other side, so it had to be multiplied because here it was being divided. And now 37054 is equal to x minus 0.045x. So that's basically 1 minus 0.045. So that's 37054 is equal to 0.955x. Therefore, x should be 37054 upon 0.955. Let me just type that on the calculator. 054. You get 38800. So just write that. Sorry, 38800. Yeah, okay. So next part, the visitors to the campsite today are in the ratio, all of that. Calculate the ratio of men to women to children in simplest form. Okay, so here we have men to women, the ratio of 5:4. And then we have women to children, which is 3:7. Okay, now we have to make a ratio for men, women, and children. Now, between these two separate ratios, the category that's common is women. So we have to multiply this value over here and this value over here to make them the same. What I mean is, for example, if I multiplied this entire thing by 3, then I would end up getting the ratio of men is to women as 15 is to 12. And then if I multiply this by 4, I get the ratio as 12 is to 28. So now because the 12 is the same, I can combine this to make it men is to women is to children as 15 is to 12 is to 28. Okay, and if for example the ratio was something else, like let's say it was for men to women, it was 5 is to 6, and then for women to children it was 3 is to 7. Okay, so now again woman is common in both of them, so I would have to multiply the values in a way so that the woman number would be the same, and then I could combine them. So simply over here I can multiply this into 2, and that would give me 6 and 14. Then I can combine it to for the ratio to be 5 is to 6 is to 14. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, feel free to ask for more clarification. So 15 is to 12 is to 28. Now today there are 224 children at the campsite. Calculate the total number of men and women. Okay, so I'll be referring to this ratio in the question because it's a lot simpler. So first I'll calculate women. So women to children over here is 3 is to 7. Now if there are 224, woman would be x. So you have to cross multiply. So it would be 3 into 224 is equal to 7x. 24. Okay, so 3 into 224 is 672. That divided by 7 will give me x, which is 96. So that's the value of the number of women over here. And now we put this in our ratio from men to women. And for women, when there's 96 present, they would be x, and our ratio is 15 is to, sorry, not 15, it's 5 is to 4. 5 is to 4. Okay, so that's 4x. When you cross multiply, it's 4x is equal to 96 into 5. Therefore, x will be 96 into 5 by 4. That's 120. So this is the number of men present, and we have to find the total number of men and women. So 120 plus 96 is the total, and that's 216 there. Okay. So I just want to clarify one point over here. The reason why I multiplied this over here with 3 and this 3 over here with 4 so that both of the values would be 12, right? And the reason why the other ratios, like for example in this men to women ratio, the reason why men is also being multiplied by 3 is because they're directly proportional to each other. So if the number of women increase by a certain value, uh, the number of men will also increase by that same value. Same principle applies over here to the women and children. Anyway, moving on to part D. The space allowed for each tent in a rectangular measure is 8 by 6. I'm imagining this is the width and this is the length. Each correct to the nearest meter. Okay, so that's basically 8.0 as width meters and then 6.0 as the length in meters. Okay, so it's corrected to the nearest meter and calculate the upper bound for the area of the space. Okay, so here's our rectangle. It's not much of a rectangle, but this is 8 and this is 6.0. Now, the way upper bound and lower bound works is that an upper bound is the highest number which can be rounded down to give you the value you currently have. So what I'm saying is if we have a number line over here, and this is, let's say this is 8, okay, and then we have 9, and then we have 7 behind. So in between we'd have 7.5, and in between 8 and 9 we'd have 8.5. Now for 8, the lower bound will be the least value to which you can round to give 8, and that over here will be 7.5. And similarly, the maximum value you can round would be anything below 8.5 to give you the value 8. So essentially, the width can be a maximum of 8.5 but not 8.5, because if you take 8.5 that will round to 9, so anything before 8.5 rounded would give you 8, and then 7.5 inclusive rounded would give you 8. So that's what I mean. So over here, the upper bound would be 8.5 for the width, and then for the length, which is 6, if we draw a number line over here, we have 6.5, and then we have 5.5. Now 5.5 rounded would give you 6. 6.5 rounded would give you 7. That's why anything before 6.5 can give us 6, provided it's greater than 5.5, greater than or equal to 5.5. So the upper bound for this will be 6.5. Now for the area, we need the upper bound value. That means the maximum area which you can possibly get. So you have to multiply both of the upper bound lengths, like the upper bound length and the upper bound width. So the upper bound width for us was 8.5 and the upper bound length for us is 6.5. So area of a rectangle is length into width. That's why we're doing 8.5 into 6.5, and that is 55.25. Yeah, that's the answer. Anyway, for part E, the value for campsite has increased exponentially by 1.5% every year since it opened 30 years ago. Calculate the value of the campsite now as a percentage of its value 30 years ago. So, first of all, because it's increasing exponentially, we know we have to apply, it has something to do with compound interest and compound interest formula. So the formula for that is actually A is equal to P 1 plus R upon 100 raised to T. So A over here is the new amount, P is the initial amount, R is the rate, and T is the time in years. Okay, so here we're given the rate 1.5, we're given the time 30 years, and now we're being asked to calculate the value of the campsite now as a percentage over the value 30 years ago. So that basically means the value you have now upon the initial value from 30 years ago as a percentage. So that means into 100. So we have to rearrange this formula to give us A by P into 100. Now, we could simply do A by P over here is equal to 1 plus R upon 100 raised to T. And if you multiply this by 100, this side of the equation by 100, obviously this side of the equation also has to be multiplied by 100. So essentially, to find the value of this, now we just substitute our values in this equation. So 1 plus, what is R over here? 1.5 upon 100 raised to T, which is 30, and that into 100. So I'm just going to type that into my calculator. And you end up getting 156.3. Okay. Yeah, that's it for this question. I hope it makes sense. If it doesn't, feel free to ask for more clarification and I'll be happy to help. Thank you.